to go pro in high school. Not only did he succeed, he's playing for his hometown team. He's a national champion, first-round draft pick. And when he talks, people listen. I mean, just listen to his voice. He sounds like the deep voice dude from Boyz II Men. But let me keep going. Please welcome the 2020 Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee from Leesburg, Virginia, Washington defensive tackle, Jonathan Allen. What's up, Jonathan? How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. Appreciate you guys for having me. Super excited to be here today.
Of course, man. Appreciate you coming on. Now, 4 weeks ago, you guys were 2-7, and the record did not necessarily reflect how talented you guys really were. What's the difference between then and, let's just say, the past month, you guys getting on this 4-game winning streak and being one of the best teams in the league?
When you look back at what we were doing earlier in the season, I don't think we were translating what we were doing in practice to game time. And, you know, for whatever reason, being a young team, being an inexperienced team, new coaching staff, new everything. But these last 4 games, we really put it together. We've been playing good complementary football. You're seeing the defense try to take it a step level up, and that includes what we're doing on the practice, our routines, and just everything from on to being off the field. So I really think you're seeing the combination of a lot of hard work from previous weeks starting to translate to games on Sunday.
We're watching the highlights now, and there's so much talent on that defensive line. And coming into this season, it was already yourself and Payne and Ioannidis and Sweat. And then you add number 99, the 2nd overall pick in the entire draft. We're watching him, and it looks like he's growing up before our very eyes, but he already might be a grown man. Just tell us about Chase Young and what it's like lining up against that guy, the Predator, who is having quite a rookie campaign.
Playing with Chase Young is great, man. He's such a just down-to-earth dude, humble, comes in every day, works. When we first drafted him, he immediately meshed well with the guys. Really just wanted to come in and just prove himself, and I think you're really starting to see the rewards for all the hard work he put in, not only in college, but this whole offseason during this crazy year. And he's phenomenal. I'm glad we have him, excited to play beside him. And, I mean, what else can I say? I mean, you see what he did last week. That's what he is.
All of you guys are really fun to watch, but there's been a much bigger story with this team. There's been several of them, Jonathan. The thing with Alex Smith went from it was incredible that he was dressing and on the team to it was miraculous that he was actually going to play. And now he's about to lead you guys to the playoffs. It's the story of the year. What is it like to be around it in person?
You know, being a young team, I don't think we truly understand some of the great leaderships and examples we have on our team, from Coach Rivera to what he went through to Alex Smith. I mean, when you see guys like that, how do you there's no excuse for anybody else. You know, if these 2 guys can come in here and bust their butts every day and do what they got to do to help this organization and this team win, there's really no excuse for anybody else, you know. So Alex Smith and Coach Rivera, they set the standard, they set the examples, and they're just great leaders for all of us to follow, especially being a younger football team.
Yeah, your head coach is near and dear to all of our hearts. Always rooting for him. He's impossible to not root for. So I wanted to ask you, everyone talks about this culture change that's happening, that happened when Ron Rivera got there. What has the experience been like for you, and what is the most important thing that Ron Rivera has changed there in Washington?
The experience has been amazing. Whenever I'm talking to my family, I always tell them that it reminds me a lot of Alabama, about his no-nonsense culture, just down-to-earth, just hard work, blue-collar mentality, and I love it. I mean, Coach Rivera is the type of coach that I played for all my life, from high school to college, and now being able to experience in the NFL, I really think you're starting to see the team buy in and understand the culture that he wants to build here in Washington. So, I mean, we've definitely had some up and downs this season, but I think you're starting to see us kind of starting to put things together.
Jonathan, you mentioned earlier that you're the Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee for the Washington football team. This is a true, really the honor of the league. And Ron Rivera played with Walter Payton, so there is a connection there. And I know what work you do with the Sasha Bruce youth work. Can you let the audience know the work that you do off the field and why that organization is so close to your heart?
Yeah, so with the Sasha Bruce Youth Work, they're pretty much a runaway homeless shelter for children in D.C. So I spent a little time in the foster care system growing up. So me and my wife, we really wanted to find a way to give back to the community that was meaningful and impactful in our lives. So we partnered with Sasha Bruce, and we're big technology guys. So one of the things that we wanted to do was create an innovation center for these kids in Sasha Bruce, you know, because I feel like in today's day and age, and with groups between 14 and 18 and up, I feel like you have to have access to an email address, internet. I mean, it's almost impossible to function in this world without those things. So I just wanted to give those kids something that I had growing up that really was meaningful in my life, and it's impactful in theirs to help them better themselves moving forward. So we started off, we did our Innovation Center, and every year, man, we've just been growing ever since. So it's truly a blessing to be able to give to those kids and that foundation. And I'm super excited about the money that we're going to be raised from with this Walter Payton Man of the Year nomination.
Jonathan, real quickly, did you say you grew up in the foster care system? You spent some time in it?
Yes, I did, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to make an executive decision right now. I was supposed to ask you about Russell Wilson, but I feel like just having this opportunity right now to ask you about that, I think it's more important. You know, there's a lot of kids that are in the same position you once were. So one, what was that like growing up in the foster care system? And what would you like to say to kids that they feel like there isn't any hope because they are maybe in a situation that looks bleak?
Yeah, no, it was definitely tough. I thank God that I had my older brother. He was 7 years older than me. I went through it with him, so he definitely made it a lot easier for me. But not everybody in the foster care system really has that older brother or figure to look up to. And there's kind of a couple things I would say to kids going through it right now is try to find somebody you can trust. And I feel like that's the hardest thing when you're going through it, is to trust people. You know, most of these kids have been hurt in the past. They don't know who to trust. And normally they just shut people out and become angry and resent people. And that's totally understandable. But I would try to find that one person you connect to and really use them as an outlet. And also, don't let this define you. You know, these are definitely tough times. And there's really nothing I can say to make it better, but just having that hope to know that things will get better, and don't let this define you. You define yourself through your actions and your character would probably be my biggest advice.
Jonathan, that was awesome. I appreciate you answering that question. I appreciate your honesty and transparency. And thank you so much for joining us. And you know what? There's no better story than the Washington football team. And we've been big fans of your team and that defensive line all season long, and can't wait to see what you guys do the rest of the season.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Of course.
Jonathan Allen waking up, inspiring us on Good Morning Football. Let's talk Aaron Rodgers.